Two NHL playoff games for Thursday, May the 14th. PuckTime, WagerTalk TV, Andrew and Carmine with you. Habs, Sabres, Vegas, and the Anaheim Ducks. Welcome in, guys. Hope you all had a winning night. And I made a mistake yesterday, guys. And I told you I wasn't going to do this again. I told you when I was away, I didn't overthink things. Carmine, I had the over 3.5 team total pretty much written up for the Avalanche, and last minute I make a change. Just in case it was low scoring, elimination game, I went with the puck line. And of course, the team total gets there, but the puck line can't hit when you go down 3-0 and you win in overtime. So that is a mistake on my part I will live with forever. We'll move on to the next day. There's 2 games today. I ended up passing in baseball yesterday, so it was an 0-1 day with hockey. We got 2 great games here today, though, to get to. You got a POD for us. We both have plays up, and let's not bury the lead here. You are off a sweat-free, and I'm talking sweat-free 5% soccer play. I encouraged you guys to get it. We gave you the promo code. Hope you guys made some money with Carmine yesterday. Carm, it's kind of sad, man. You keep on saying this. We want more games. We want longer series.
Yeah.
What are we going to do tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern, man?
Yeah. Well, we'll still do a show. We'll call it, let's look back at what happened on Thursday night. But it's nuts because, they played so well yesterday in Minnesota. It's like 3-0 up in the first period. And I was loving it for the sheer fact that I had the over in the game. But I said, Colorado's got to do something because Minnesota's not going to score 7 goals to give me the over in this game. And I got lucky. I talk about the bad luck, an empty net goal with 4 seconds left to kill my under, and the game goes over. I get 2 goals by the Colorado Avalanche with like less than 3 minutes left or 3.5 minutes left to tie the game at 3 and essentially make the 6.5 over 6.5 a winner. So don't mention the bad beats without mentioning the good ones. So it seems like it's been a good one, Andrew. 9-1 run in the NHL for me, my last 10 plays, and 11-3 last 14. So having a good NHL playoffs. But man, Andrew, tonight, Montreal and Buffalo, Anaheim and Vegas, and then we'll see how it shakes out after this. Does one of the series end tonight? The only one could be the Vegas one. We'll discuss that in a bit. But, dude, thank you to everyone, first of all, who purchased yesterday, whether you bought the all-day pass, you bought the whether you bought the 5% and used the coupon code. 8 goals in that game. It was never in doubt. I had the total over 3.5 goals. Over 3.5 in soccer is a very tough bet to beat and win, but I've done it regularly, finding the right spots for it. So thank you, Inter Miami and Cincinnati, for getting that done, and a 3-0 sweep on the day. I told you after yesterday's show, I said to you, Andrew, my card today looks like the most square card because all I'm hoping for is goals in every game. Man City to cover a big line. They get it done easily. The soccer game to go over, the hockey game to go over. So it was one of those days where it went in my favor. But I do tend to gravitate during this last month of the soccer season to unders because there are some really good spots for taking unders. But those are always tough as well too. An early penalty, an early goal, an early mistake, a red card, and then you're toast. So,
well, I said to you yesterday through text as well, I forgot what the number was that you told me that you had. And the second it was 2-2, I was like, all right, he has to have won this now. I mean, there's no way a soccer total is any higher. So I was happy for you with that. And obviously we have to get to today's 2 games we're going to get to, but maybe we will do a look back show at some point. But we just have to say this, that, we talk so much about the division, right, and how strong it is, and people are complaining about the format forever and how it works. But But Carm, how scary is it? The Hurricanes 8-0, the Avalanche 8-1. And you think about it, Minnesota was a pretty good team. They miss Eriksson Ek and a couple guys and stuff, but for the Avalanche to beat them in 5, and let's be real here, that's probably the best start they possibly could have had. They go up 3-0, and they still don't win the game. And of course, you know me. Right before I go to bed, I just decide to throw some ingredients in the pot, start stirring the pot around a little bit just to have some fun. Wake up and my phone is going crazy because I tweeted out, Bill Guerin mortgaged the future for Quinn Hughes only for them to win 5 playoff games. And then I slept like a baby. I wake up the next day and my phone blows up because people are saying, well, you have to take chances. You have to take a risk. The big chance is, how long does Quinn Hughes sign for? Is Zeev Buium going to be a great player? Are these guys that they went traded to Vancouver going to be great? And I respect it. Look, I'm the first person to tell you, you got to take chances in life. If you're a team, if you ain't first, you're last. But at the same time, they know how good Colorado was. They only won 5 playoff games, Carm.
Yeah, it's tough. They should have won yesterday. It's unfortunate what happened in the last 3 to 4 minutes. It's not as if it was a bad goal or a bad couple goals. It's not as if there were penalties that contributed to it. It is just the Avs. They hit the accelerator in the last 4 or 5 minutes of the game, and the Wild just couldn't contain them. They couldn't get the puck out of the O-zone. You get it. You ice it a couple times. Even if the guys are still on the ice, you give them a chance to at least catch a breather. The team to set up a plan on how to play in your defensive zone and go from there. Minnesota's going to be fine, Andrew. Minnesota, obviously the Ek, not having Ek hurts the team. During the offseason, the first thing they should be doing during the offseason, especially the way the Western Conference is set up, the first thing is a centerman, another centerman for a second line, third line centerman. You look at the Avs, they are so deep down the middle. You look at the teams like Carolina, deep down the middle. Some of the best teams in the NHL and the ones that are remaining are, for the most part, are ones that have good centermen on line 1, good centermen on line 2. You need those guys there. Minnesota will be fine. Unfortunately, they're stuck in a division with Colorado and with Dallas. But if Guerin makes the right adjustments, and we can look at what the future may hold in making that trade. If they're able to hold on to Quinn Hughes, then fantastic. He seems to be loving it there. He seems to be enjoying it there. And I know people talk about, well, he wants to play with his brother. A lot of this stuff it's like that. It is fandom talking. It's not the player himself saying, yeah, I want to play with my brother in the near future. So the Wild will be fine. They just ran into a juggernaut that is the Colorado Avalanche, unfortunately. But
can I share one picture with you, Carm, before we move on? Yeah. One picture. And I know I'm guilty of saying we have to move on too, so I'll take the blame for this one. But I'm sure the Americans in the viewership here are going to love me showing this picture. And I'm sure you saw this picture floating around social media as well. You talked about that they weren't just bad goals towards the end of the game. They were pretty nice goals. Let's take a look at this difference here. One of these was a goal.
Why was I thinking wasn't a goal? Why? I was actually thinking about that last night.
Oh,
when Nate McInnis scored that goal. The first thing that flashed in my head was, oh my God, this seems like the exact same thing that happened to Canada versus the US, where he had the whole net open and missed it completely. Because if he scores, that's it. Game over. Canada wins the gold. But you ask me, Andrew, as a Canadian, if you ask me, am I happier about winning my over yesterday or Canada not winning the gold? I'm happy about winning my play yesterday because my clients won, I won, at the end of the day, Canadian hockey will be fine. So
yeah, and there's this thing people are talking about, the reverse V, the revert. I'm no goaltending expert, but you look at Jesper Wallstedt. When players have the ability to pick the top corners the way that they do, you can't be going that low. I mean, he left the top corner wide open. It's obviously a fantastic shot, but anyway, that will keep some people up at night. That's for sure. All right, this is what people are here for.
By the way,
is picks.
By the way, you know what the top shelf is for?
The cookies, the cookie jar.
That's right. It's where Mama hides the cookies.
Let's get
craving
to it
some
cookies.
I'm still craving some cookies right now, but let's get going, Andrew, because we got a game to talk about. Montreal and Buffalo. Listen, if I had made a prediction at the beginning of the year, for our good friend the Prez, and the Prez has a 5% play up today in the NHL, guys. So I will promote it right now with the year thing. He's having a fantastic playoff year so far in the NHL, but I'm hot on his heels, and I look to sneak past him at some point over the next week. But with that said, Andrew, if I had made a prediction at the beginning of the year or hey, the Atlantic Division Finals will be the Montreal Canadiens and the Buffalo Sabres, I think WagerTalk, you, and probably a lot of the guys in the chat would have had me committed to an insane asylum. But here we are, game 5 of this series. Minus 123 in the Buffalo Sabres, plus 102 on the Montreal Canadiens. I'm going to go to you first, Andrew, with this one and tell me how you're playing it.
Well, look, I'm going to start with this, Carm. And I got to go back to you with this. You know, and my clients know, and the viewers know that I don't really like making bets in Montreal Canadian games. It's the one thing that helps me keep the peace, kumbaya, the little meditation. I know some people will say they don't go against or they don't go on. Maybe it's a good or a bad thing. When they sucked, I didn't bet against them. When they've been good this year, I barely bet on them. It's like me keeping the peace at home. My girlfriend doesn't like watching my other bets. She likes to watch my teams I cheer for in a wholesome way. That being said, I had probably my first ever 5% play in game 2 on the Montreal Canadiens against the Buffalo Sabres. Pretty much all the reasons I kind of like that, well, not kind of, I loved that 5% play is how I feel about this one, just not as strong. I like Montreal here, Carm, but I think this series is going 7 games. We know how strong home ice can be, but it's been very evident, and we talked about it yesterday, both teams are 2-2 or 1-1 at home. They're 2-2 and they're 1-1 at home. Home ice doesn't mean diddly squat after the puck drops. The ceremonies are cool. Banging the drum is cool. The torch is cool. After the puck drops, the last change matters a little bit. But other than that, it's just hockey. And this Montreal Canadiens team, it's been well over a month and a half since they've lost back-to-back games. Jakub Dobeš off a loss has been fantastic. The only thing that worries me a bit is this series started off as pond hockey, and it turned into a bunch of penalties and more rough stuff. If that happens, that does benefit Buffalo, I think, in a little bit of fashion, just because I like the depth of Montreal better than I like the depth of the Sabres. So, look, I think Montreal wins. Carm, I told you yesterday, I like the value on them because if they win tonight, going back to Montreal. But we very well could see 3 or 4 straight games where the home crowd is disappointed. Like we could see the home fans be upset because they packed the building and had so much fun and the road team won these games. So I think this goes 7 games, man. I like Montreal here. And as far as the total, I don't have much for you because I'm sure you can agree with me on this. This series is one of those series that there's nothing, bang, 3 goals. Like there could be nothing going on for the first 30 minutes of the game. And the second those floodgates open up, we see a bunch of goals. So I'll tell you, Josh Doan has been unbelievable. Zach Benson, has been unbelievable. Tage Thompson, he's starting to feel his confidence a little bit here. Caulfield's feeling his confidence a little bit. But I got to give credit to Habs Relic in the chat. because he's talking about Newhook and Evans point props plus 450. Newhook's been the unsung hero for the Canadiens. So if you want to take him, you can look at it. And Rex says, let's ask Andrew if home ice means nothing heading back to Montreal. Well, like I said, home ice hasn't meant anything here. So Carm, anyway, I'm going long here, but I think that this is a spot where I'm just going to take a team that hasn't lost back-to-back games in a long time here. And we'll see how much home ice matters.
Yeah, no, they haven't. I think I saw a stat. You had tagged me in something on Instagram. And I saw like this stat of like the Canadians are like 1-1 their last 2, 2-2 their last 4, 3-3 their last 6, and it went all the way up to like 7-7 their last 14 games or something like that. They're basically playing 500. So it's a kind of but it's not zigzagging. It's not win one, lose one, win one, lose one. Kind of like the Ducks series has been, but. With that said, Andrew, I have no problem playing on or against the Buffalo Sabres. I put fandom aside because whether the Sabres win or not does not change my quality of life at all. A bunch of millionaires winning a game or hoisting a cup or a trophy or what have you does nothing for me. Just winning does. So I'll fade the Sabres if I need to fade the Sabres, and I'll fade Montreal when I think the Sabres are the better bet. This is a series I think you're correct. We talked about it in 2 shows ago where I think it does go 7 games. But I think in order for it to go 7 games, I almost feel like the Buffalo Sabres would probably have to win tonight, because if they don't, I think the series ends in Montreal and the Habs win 4-2. The big difference here is what does the change of going to Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen do for the Buffalo Sabres? They made the change for Game 4. He made some very good saves in that game and looked good. So what happens next with Ukko? So does he have another good game? Do the Sabres have another good game? If this becomes a chippy affair with power plays, it's going to be a tough one, because anytime you have to factor in power plays and 5-on-5 goals. You look at some of the games in the series and you remove sort of the power play goals, because the Sabres are starting to score in the power play as well too. So the Canadians don't want to take any penalties, especially with the game in Buffalo. That said, my lean here is because I think this series is going to go 7. My lean here is the Sabres to win this one at home. And then much like when teams are playing back-to-back during the regular season, where I say I'm going to take the team that lost the first game to win the second. And I said that during the first 2 games in Buffalo in this series. The Sabres win tonight. I think the only play is a play on the Montreal Canadiens on Saturday night in Game 6. And then let the chips fall where they may and see a possible Game 7. But these are 2 teams, Andrew, that it just seems destined for 7 games. One hasn't really held over the other. It's been pretty much an even series. The goaltending advantage definitely lies with the Montreal Canadiens. Jakub Dobeš has been absolutely phenomenal in this series and in the playoffs. And it's just not the playoffs. He had a very good regular season as well, too. The Sabres are going to have to give Ukko a lot of support tonight to make sure that the Habs don't get in front, not only early, but even by a couple of goals, because it'll take the steam out of the stadium. And you know that's what the Montreal Canadiens are looking to do. Quiet the crowd early on. Buffalo tried to do that in Montreal. I think it was in Game 3 where, who was it? Tage Thompson scored, a minute and a half into the game. Quieted the crowd, but the minute the Montreal Canadiens tied it up, that crowd went crazy. I don't think I've seen a crowd like we have at the Bell Center. It's absolutely hopping there. You look at the images outside of the Bell Center, kind of like here when the Raptors are playing, where they have Jurassic Park set up and there's just tons of people go and watch it on the big screens. Montreal has thousands of people outside of the stadium watching the game, Andrew. So with that said, you guys got a huge following. I'm not trying to stroke your ego, because I'm still taking the Sabres tonight in this one.
Well, like you said, like I think it's all about the start a little bit here. But one thing is I have a prop I'll mention at the end of the show as kind of like a prop best bet here. But looking at some of the stuff here, the Canadians had 73 shot attempts. 73 shot attempts in game 4, Carm, but they didn't really have that many shots. Buffalo did a fantastic job of blocking shots. So if anybody's interested in those type of player props, Connor Timmins over 1.5 block shots, minus 150. I know it's a juicy one, but that guy has been fantastic for them. For the Montreal Canadiens, Alexandre Carrier, 3+ block shots is at plus 115. Not really a huge guy, not really a physical guy, but a guy that gets in a lot of lanes. He could be someone worth looking at there. And, Carm, Cole Caulfield was having a real bad playoffs. There's no hiding it. He wasn't doing that good as far as offensive ability. Maybe his defensive play was good in the Tampa Bay series. He's finding it a little bit here. This to me, and I know this isn't really a hot take, I guess, but this to me has a feeling of it's going to be top guys and top guys. Like I've seen Zach Bolduc, I've seen the Kirby Docs, I've seen the the top guys for Buffalo, the Tage Thompson and stuff. But I think that these games, you need your top guys to show up big. So if you want point props, you want shot props. But having said that, Habs Relic pointed it out. Like, Carm, would you agree when people say that the playoffs begin to be a whole new season? Like right now, Newhook, you can forget about what he did during the regular season. He should not be plus 125 to get a point because right now he's better than some of the other guys on the Montreal Canadiens. He's one of their better forwards. If you take away the regular season and you look only at the playoffs.
Yeah. You're chopping out there a little bit on your mic. I think it was you and hopefully not me. Maybe. But with that said, Andrew, you know what I mean? Like I get it. The best on the best. You're referencing Cole Caulfield, and I think that's a very good example. So he's having a very good time of it on the power play, not 5-on-5. But what does it tell you that the Montreal Canadiens and probably their best player on the team, Cole Caulfield, are in a series tied 2-2, and Caulfield still is not contributing 5-on-5? It's got to be scary for the other team because if Caulfield somehow does get hot, he just needs to get hot for two games, tonight and Saturday, and be the difference. And the series is over. And everyone forgets about the 4 previous games or the previous series or what have you. It's what have you done for me lately? That's how it is. It's like that. It's that way in handicapping when we're on streaks and when we're on projecting sort of downwards, the ebbs and flows of sports betting. It's the same thing in the NHL. No one remembers what happened in the first round with the Montreal Canadiens beating Tampa Bay and maybe Cole Caulfield not producing if Cole Caulfield wins them the series against the Buffalo Sabres. That's all they remember, right? So it is always like that. It is what's fresh in your mind. What have you done for me lately? So this is it's one of those things. Andrew, before we get into the next game, I just want to mention or just want to talk about we're seeing like the merry-go-round are now happening in the NHL. All the coaches getting fired. Not Sheldon Keefe. Craig Berube gone from the Toronto Maple Leafs. I think that's a good move. Number one. Chris Knobloch, Edmonton Oilers, fired today or this morning or late last night, whenever. He's gone. They're looking at getting Bruce Cassidy as their coach. Very good coach, but canned from the Golden Knights with like 8 games left. Yeah. And now the Knights are one game away from the conference finals, and everyone's going to think it was the coaching change that did it. Now, Bruce Cassidy was a good coach. He was a good coach with the Boston Bruins. He was a good coach with the Vegas Golden Knights. You don't just forget how to coach. Sometimes the team in front of you just doesn't play the way they're supposed to play. But it's going to be an interesting summer of the coaches. And, I talked to Prez early this morning, and I was surprised he was up. But the second part of it was like, Who are the Leafs going to get as a coach? I know we're talking about the offseason, but this is just a quick hot take. I don't know of any coach out there that, you know what I mean, like that isn't currently employed that you could plug in there other than bringing up a guy from the minors, kind of like what the Oilers did with Chris Knobloch because he was in their minor league affiliate. Who do you bring up? Who do you put as coach? Because I think the first thing, and I'm going to stop it in like 30 seconds. The first thing is referencing the Toronto Maple Leafs and firing the coach. They got to get rid of Austin Matthews. He does not want to be there. Anytime a player says, I'm not sure of my future here, you're sure of your future. That's not confidence. I'm not sure of my future here. You have just basically said what you want to say without saying it, which is like, it's time to move me to one of the teams that is on my no trade list or one that I approve of. So we'll see if he ends up on the West Coast. I think that's where eventually Austin Matthews is going to end up, but he's going to have to get, the Leafs are going to have to get a bundle for him. This isn't to talk about NFL. This is almost like the Herschel Walker trade, where the Dallas Cowboys traded Herschel Walker to, I think it was the Minnesota Vikings or wherever they traded him to, and got like 7 draft picks and number ones and used all of those picks to become Super Bowl champions twice removed. So, or back to back, beating the Buffalo
I'd
Bills.
love for it to be somebody new. That's all I think. I'd love for it to be somebody new. The only thing that I think, I'll smash the microphone there, is that you can't go from a hard-ass coach to a hard-ass coach. Like, you can't go from the same thing to the same thing. Now, here's the thing, and I know we got to move on, but, you know, when you look at Berube and the Maple Leafs last year, Carm, they had a 3-1 lead in Game 6 against the Florida Panthers.
Yeah.
Like, that's what they'll tell you, is that Berube and the Leafs were 1 game away from punching their ticket to the conference finals. Having said that, the coaching favorites right now, Cassidy plus 200, Boudreau plus 300, Gallant plus 600, Malhotra plus 600, Evasens plus 700, and Hillier at 10-1. And here's one for you I know you'll love, Carm. Ty Domi at 50-1.
No.
Anyway,
it's
on.
Funny. He actually said in closing, he actually said that he would love for the Leafs to get Patrick Roy. But I don't know if that would ever happen because he would have to obviously leave. The Leafs are already paying, I think, 3 different coaches salary. Berube is going to get $4.5 million the next 2 seasons, each season for the next 2 seasons, unless he gets hired by somebody. If I was him, I would head down to Aruba and just chill on the beach and collect $4.5 million a year. I think a lot of people in our chat would for the next couple of years. I think it's 2 years left on it. I think a lot of people in our chat would do the same thing. I know OG Hater, 100%. This guy's in Aruba drinking Imperiales or whatever they serve down there. I know Titans for sure. Titans is heading to the Bahamas. He's going to drink some El Presidente. So these guys would take the $4.5 million and take a 2-year vacation, then come back because there's always some team looking for a coach. That's just the way it is. But let's talk about a team that needed a coach, got a coach, and now they're 1 game away from the conference finals. The Vegas Golden Knights, the Anaheim Ducks, minus 113 on the Knights, 107 on the Ducks. 6 is the total here. Andrew, how you playing this?
Carm, I think that I think this spot with Mark Stone, even though the last time they were in Anaheim, they still played pretty well. I think that if there's no Mark Stone tonight, it could impact them more with them being on the road. So you talk about home ice advantage. Does it matter? Does it not matter? I think with the whole Mark Stone situation, it matters a bit because they controlled the game. They played well on home ice. It ended up being a tight game, but the under hit. Carter Hart played well. Now, here's one thing I'm going to say. For whatever reason, if you believe in these splits or not, Carter Hart has been a much better home goalie than he has been away since he came back to the NHL, Carm. That's a fact. And you look at this Anaheim Ducks team, they have been more of an over team when they've played at home versus when they played on the road. They're going to play their style of hockey. They're going to play how they like to play, and it's going to be fast. If Anaheim stays alive here, I cannot see this game being a low-scoring game. And, I think that this is the overplay. You can get over 6. I'm going to take the over for the Anaheim Ducks. I feel like they get some goals here tonight. They extend the series. Look, I think that Vegas is moving on to the conference finals. I've been backing them. I thought they've gotten better as the series has gone on. But I do think we see goals in this one. We cashed that first period over free play. You liked it. I liked it last night. That wasn't too hard, Carm, for us to cash that. I don't see why this one can't hit either. Remember the Ducks series against the Oilers? Every game was going over in the first period. I kind of feel like the Ducks are going to open things up tonight. Give me the over here.
Yeah, I don't blame you at all, Andrew. I had to look at Carter Hart's splits, and you're correct. Much better on the road. You look at these teams, and when you talk about splits, Andrew, all 3 games in Vegas have stayed under the total. Both games in Anaheim have gone over the total. This game's in Anaheim tonight. That game 5 in Vegas, there were 69 scoring chances in that game. There were 35 high danger chances in that game. The XG created in that game was over 7, I think 719, and the score finished 3-2 and could have finished 2-1 in regulation if it wasn't for the late goal by the Ducks to tie it up. The venue switch, I just don't think that. I think the venue switch helps if you like the over. But I also think that the venue switch could actually help the Vegas Golden Knights as well, too. I get it. Anaheim, listen, this is one of those ones where for the first time in the playoffs, the Anaheim Ducks are facing elimination. They have not faced elimination up until this point. Didn't in the first series, do now. Now it becomes, for me, as far as I'm concerned, veterans versus younger guys in the league. And Anaheim does have a couple veterans, but a younger squad. Vegas Golden Knights have a ton of guys who have been there before, been in elimination games. And I think that you need that presence, whether Mark Stone is in the lineup or not. And I'm going to say he's not going to be in. I still think that at the end of the day, the Knights have that advantage. I think this is one of those ones where at home, I would correlate Vegas to the under. On the road, I would look at the over in this game and say that either team can win and this game goes over. I think if they replicate the final analytics of that game 5 and they do that in game 6 tonight, that we're going to see plenty of goals and this one's going to go over the total.
And that correlation you mentioned, I think that Vegas is capable of playing a higher scoring game. Dorofeyev, we talked about him yesterday, how well he played, and Marner's having a good time. I mean, these guys are great, but I think that veteran play, even though, and you said it yourself, Carm, Anaheim has vets, but I think Vegas plays more like an experienced team. Yeah. So there'd be no shock to me if this game opens up and there's 3 goals in the first period. The less physicality, the less craziness there is, it probably benefits Anaheim a little bit because they want to play pond hockey. They want to go out there and roll the puck. And I don't think, and this is an obvious statement, I don't think Anaheim is scared of going goal for goal against Vegas. I think they're scared of playing tough hockey against Vegas.
Yeah, I get it. You talk about penalties and talk about physicality. So this could be a completely square take on it, but you look at it going into this one, the Ducks, like I said, are facing elimination. A younger team, some veterans are going to remind them, just go out and play your game. But the Knights have already won there. They've proven they can win there. The thing here is, the Knights have the luxury of having one in the chamber, one in the clip. They could lose tonight and they still have game 7 at home. So they've got 2 bullets. The Ducks have 1 and that's it. So it is one of those ones where You look at it, the Knights can apply the pressure on them, can throw a bit of the body around if they wanted to, and be physical, because if the Ducks respond to that, and take some dumb penalties, it is going to come back to burn them. The Vegas power play will get it done. I don't know why. I have nothing to base this on, Andrew, but it feels like tonight is the type of game without Mark Stone in the lineup, and almost positive I didn't find any info saying that he would be in the lineup, because they called up a couple guys from their Henderson squad. But it just feels like this is the kind of night where Jack Eichel steps up and gets it done for the team. The guy that they gave up a bit to get him from the Buffalo Sabres in that trade, who's won a cup with them, has been there before. And right now he's taken a sort of a backseat to Mitch Marner, but it feels like this is the kind of game where Jack Eichel steps to the forefront, and the Vegas Golden Knights get it done. So with that said, we'll see. I'll probably look at some Jack Eichel props as well too for points, unless you have them in front of you or not. But that's my take on this one. I like the over in this game, Andrew.
Yeah, looking forward to a good game, and hopefully we see some action. And I think this one in particular, we could see some action early on. Look, I was wrong about it last night with that puck line, but I do think that I still remain confident with puck lines being something that you can capitalize on in elimination games. That said, I'm Mr. Team Total. I think in a game like this, you like one team, you pick the team you think is going to get 3 or 4 goals. I do think that Anaheim could win the first period and still lose the game. I think if you like Anaheim, you bet the first period. The more I think about this game, the more I think about how important the start of the game is. But I'm looking forward to a fun game, and I'm hoping that after I stress out for 2.5 hours, I can enjoy a really fun game later on. So I can't wait for that. Carm, before I get to my prop of the day and you have your NHL pod, I just wanted to mention once again about that great deal we have going. And I've got a special going up this afternoon as far as my hockey action is concerned. I actually have a big play going tomorrow, and it's not NHL, and it's not MLB, and it's not NBA. It's World Hockey. But if anybody wants to get all of our plays in one singular package, $100 off, 30-day all-access pass. Carmine had an absolutely sick day yesterday. I'm having a fantastic month. You guys head over, $100 off, 30-day all-access pass, plus 10 additional days for free. Go to WagerTalk.com. You can see at the bottom of your screen right now on the scroller, WT.buzz/CB. for Carmine or AM. And no, it's not Al McInnis. It's Andrew McInnis. And you can get that, of course, at WagerTalk. For me, Carm, my prop of the day, we did lose yesterday, as that was a pure depth game until McKinnon had that snipe. We're going Uri Slafkovsky. Look at that graphic. Man, oh man, AI is doing extra work these days. Plus 3+ shots on goal at -115. Look, this guy was getting a little bit too fancy, carrying the puck around, making bad passes. You got to go back to your simple game. As I mentioned, the Habs had 72 shot attempts in game 4. You might think I'm making that up because they only had like 25 shots on net. I think we're going to see a lot of simplistic plays. We're going to see a lot of net front action from Slafkovsky. He's got to play big. He's got to play like he did against Tampa Bay. People are going to be lining up to bet on Suzuki props and Caulfield props. I think if you want to bet a Hab tonight, you bet Uri Slafkovsky to get the job done. -115, over 2.5 shots on goal. And as I'm talking right now, Carm, I just got notification that we are good to go as far as my World Hockey Championship and NHL package. So that will be up this afternoon. Guys, for 15-ish days, from the 15th to the 31st, actually, there's going to be about 3 to 4 games a day in World Hockey. I made money with the Four Nations, with the Olympics, made money in the World Juniors. So it's winding down right now with the NHL. But I spent most of my day yesterday reading team previews, getting prepped for the tournament. got a big play going tomorrow in World Hockey action.
Andrew, well said. You do absolutely phenomenal with these tournaments. You did so during the Four Nations. You did so during the Olympic Games. And I know you're going to have, because I won't be doing the hockey championships. I'm just going to be relying on you to text me the winners each and every game. It's one of those ones, guys, where I say sometimes it's best to stay in your lane instead of trying to take on too much. If you try and cap too many sports, it's like the guy at the racetrack I've mentioned, where there's like 10 different races going off over the course of 15 minutes. And the guy thinks he can beat all 10 races. It can't happen. Maybe short term, a little luck. Long term, no. You've done this long term and you've done well with it. So I wish you the best of luck. And as mentioned by Steve Dukes, this prop play by yours likely will win because the guy only has one stick in his hand and not two, like yesterday's image had. But with that said, it's time for the pod play. And we talked about this a little earlier. My pod play, I am going to the over in the Vegas Golden Knights Anaheim game. I just look at the analytic numbers. I look at the fact that the first two games in Anaheim both went over the total. All three games in Vegas have stayed under the total. I think it's going to be a hopping atmosphere at the Honda Center tonight. If they replicate any of those numbers, 69 scoring chances, we're not talking shots on goal. We're talking scoring chances. 35 high danger chances, an XG well over 7. At some point, those pucks are going to get by the goalies who have been playing well in this series, and this goes over the total of 6. So give me the over 6 as your pod play winner on Thursday night.
Let's get some goals, Carm. Let's get some goals. Best of luck to your Sabres tonight, and let's catch some tickets in this. I'll tell you what, props will be the name of the game for me today. We do have a play up, though, at WagerTalk, and not one, but 2 baseball plays for me today. Had a play 2 days ago. It was an under in the first 5 innings. The full game only had 4 runs. So that was really nice, just to have a nice, smooth under. It's kind of funny. I think baseball is the one sport that I don't find unders stressful. I actually find overs more stressful in baseball than unders because, you know, that old saying, like, you're winning until you're losing. Like you're winning most of the game until you're not, you know, like in hockey, like there's so many chances left and right, but sometimes the faster the ball game goes on, you're like, okay, this is off to a pretty good start. The only thing that sucks is that one grand slam and you're screwed. So yeah, all it takes is one big inning, but 2 baseball plays for me, guys. That package is going to be up this afternoon. So look, after today, we could potentially just have 2 more series left in the NHL. But don't worry, more hockey action to go with my World Hockey package. And Carm, you got all kinds of stuff going on as well. And a little sneaky 5% play winner for you last night. Close it out for us.
Yeah. Thank you for everyone who picked up that, whether you used your flex package, the 1 day, 3 days. Some of you guys picked up the 38 where you get the 10 extra days as well too. That is a great deal because I'm going to be busy over this month of May and into June. And the World Cup package is up $149 for that one. You get every single play, prop, futures bet during the World Cup. And there's a couple of futures already loaded up at WagerTalk. So you would get those immediately if you purchase the World Cup package. And I hope to have my guide finished at the end of today or tomorrow at the very latest, so I can get that out to everyone. But 2 plays in the NHL for me tonight. I like both games. You can find them over at WagerTalk. They're both 4% best bets. And we'll look to keep a very good run going. 9-1 last 10 games, last 10 plays in the NHL and rolling. No soccer for me today. 2-0 day yesterday, taking today off because there's just some domestic cup games, and those are always tough to figure out. But I will have full cards up for the weekend and Friday coming shortly. So those 3-day all accesses will get all of those as well too. That's it, guys. Enjoy the games tonight. Whoever you're on, best of luck to you. Hopefully it's the Sabres. And for myself and Andrew McInnis, this is Puck Time, guys. We will see you on Friday.